You know, there's a lot of things you're about to buy when you're in your 20s that you never should. And there's other things that you should be buying that you don't even know that you should. My name is Kris Krohn, and I was financially free at the age of 26 years old. And I've been on a journey since then, sharing with people all over the world how you can duplicate these efforts and results and create them in your own life. So today, I'm holding nothing back. I'm gonna share with you point blank what you need to be doing in your 20s, something most of you are not. Let's get it fixed, and let's help you build that wealth now.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
Today we're talking about perhaps one of the most important financial decisions of your life, because when we talk about what you should be putting your money out for in your 20s, you're ultimately determining your destiny. Because some people, you know what they're doing in their 20s? They want to play, they want to live it up, they want to have it all. You know, they want the nicest car and they want the nicest condo or house that they can get, and they want world travel. And as a result, they have no money left in the bank account, but they are living it up royally. And I'm not going to say that that in and of itself is a bad choice. I think a lot of our uprising generation, Gen Z, millennials, we want to have it all. I'm with you. I want to have it all. And if you spend all of your money, you never have the ability to create a goose that lays golden eggs. Now, what's so beautiful about a goose that lays golden eggs is that if you can find something to put your money in that pays you, then it means that you work less, and then you can have even more freedom, even more lifestyle, and ultimately more mobility. I think that that's something that people really value today. So the choices that you're going to make right now, hopefully in this video, what I'm going to kind of put up for you is going to help give you the direction and the specifics, because I follow a very specific financial model. When people come out to my events, I tell them I give them their $1 million game plan. Some of you need a $20 million game plan because of how big your goals are, how big your ambitions are. So the question is, what are the rules to financially getting where you want to go? That's what I've got for you. I can teach you the rules for getting rich, but you have to just pause and ask yourself, is it going to be worthwhile for you? Because part of what I'm going to ask you to do, it comes down to a principle called delayed gratification, which essentially means I'm going to put off some of the nicer things that I'd like to have because I'm going to make some different choices. If I were to choose to have less for the next 5 years, but have anything that I want for the next 50, would that intrigue you? Would that be useful for you? Because some of us are really trained to just say, nah, you know, I'm going to follow Parkin's law, which says I'm going to spend plus or minus 10% of what I make. This is what most people do. And financially, it gets painful because they're laying out all this cash because they don't understand that that nicer car, that's an extra payment. That extra payment could actually go towards an investment making you money today. Or that slightly nicer condo or that nicer house that's not really an investment, that's just more money that you have to earn at your job to service it. And what it does is it's like it puts us in chains and it binds us. The reason why I created my financial freedom at the age of 26 is because I fell in love with investing, not saving. I'm telling you that you want to be broke. Now, don't get me wrong. I want you to hear me. I want you to be broke. I don't want you to save money and put it in a bank. A bank is a horrible store of value. Cash is a horrible store of value. It loses 3% of its value every year. It's going in the wrong direction. You don't want savings. You want investments, and you want investments that are paying you. Because when you invest enough and they pay you enough, dude, I remember when my first 25 properties were paying me over $10,000 a month. Do you know what that meant for me? That meant that I could actually walk into my boss's office that particular morning and actually say, Aaron, I want a $70,000 raise. And they were already paying me 6 figures a year when I had started off at like nothing, but I had built myself up. And when I walked from that 6-figure job, I was able to do it. I had the freedom and mobility to do that because I had an alternative income that I could control. It was controlling my financial future, my choices, and what I wanted to do with my life. And so you've got to decide right now, what's really more important to you? Living up and spending all you got now. The problem is that we habituate ourselves into that lifestyle and way of being, and then guess what happens? We stay that way for the rest of our life. I instead fell in love with the model of investing. So I would scrape a little bit of money together and I put it into a property, and then that property paid me $500 a month. And I thought, all right, I can't retire on $500 a month, but you know what? $500 an extra a month is big time discretionary income that I didn't have before. And then I set that aside and I put it towards my next investments, and I set that aside And I started getting a track record, and then more people wanted to invest with me, and then all of a sudden money started, just coming into my lap. And then I could use that to basically buy up a lot of real estate. And every time I got a big chunk of money, I never once thought, upgrade your lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, 4 years later, I did upgrade my lifestyle. 4.5 years later, I was living in a 10,000 square foot custom built home right on the golf course outside of Provo Canyon, Utah. And I was driving an Escalade, and I was driving a beautiful BMW convertible, and I felt like the world was mine. But the reason why I upgraded my lifestyle is because I was delaying that gratification until I had enough money that I could actually afford that lifestyle easily and effortlessly. So the big question that I have for you that starts this whole chain reaction: how much money are you going to need to learn to save to actually have money to invest and have it turn into something amazing? The amount of money that I actually want you to have available, this is gonna freak you out at first, but this is what I want you to work towards. I want you to find a way to save 40% of every dollar coming in. Now think about it for just a second. You wanna know what one of the biggest bills that we pay? It's taxes. And the IRS, they get their pound of flesh, they get their money. And at the end of the day, after we pay the IRS, what do we have left for us? Very little. After I paid my mortgage and the rest of my bills, what do I have left? Very little. In the past, I said 20%. But I'm pushing the bill and I'm now saying 40%. I want you to get a financial money makeover, and I want you to find a way to say, how do I save 40% of my money? If you can do this, do you know what this communicates? It says that if you can take that money and then put it into your investments, then your investments can start working for you instead of you working for money. Now money works for you. So for example, I get a chunk of money together, I buy a business, and I'm the owner of it, not the operator, and it pays me. I just started another business last month. It's paid me over $100,000. And guess what? I've put in about 4 hours of time, and I put in 0 of my own dollars. I get another chunk of money. I put it in another investment that's gonna pay me. Then I get that money and this money, and I put it together, and all of a sudden I have this avalanche building up. You want an avalanche of money flowing into your lap in the next 10 years. But that all starts with this. How do you find a way to save 40% of the money that you make? Listen, you're already doing it for your house. You're already doing it for groceries. You're already doing it for everything else. But why aren't you doing it for your future? Why aren't you doing it for the lifestyle that you want to create? In fact, there's even ways to accelerate it. But this is really ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a massive show of commitment. You see, the answer to your question, what you should be saving for in your 20s, it's investments. It's not a house, go rent one. It's not a car, lease one. Keep your payments as low as possible. Keep your cash, keep 40% of it, find a way. If you're watching this video, you're like, Kris, there's no way. Some of you are thrilled, you're like, I can do that. You need to find a way to restructure yourself so that you can be saving that money. If you do, then you have enough meaningful money to invest with. And it's like standing at the top of the mountain and rolling a little ball down the hill, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. In fact, I created a video for you that I want you to watch next. It's my journey of what I did in my 20s to basically be financially free and retired at the age of 26. Now, clearly I'm not retired. I'm making videos and I'm helping the world and I'm doing a lot of community service and I'm building even more wealth because I found my North Star. I found what brings me joy and happiness. My balance is spending time with my family, traveling the world, businesses that I love and enjoy, and making videos for you. Like, this is true to who I am. For you to have a life filled with that level of options means that you've got to find a way to take, at this young period of time in your life, do things different than the norm, everybody else, so that you can build a future for yourself that creates all the possibilities you could ever want. So the video that I created for you up here in the top corner here, it's had millions of views, and frankly, many people attribute that to how I helped them create financial freedom in their 20s. And don't worry, if you're in your 30s, it'll work for you as well. So check that video out. I'm gonna break it all down. I'm gonna actually give you the systems and the steps of what you should be putting your money into in your 20s.